Hey my YouTube subscribers, I hope that you are doing really well, and I'm making this video for you to talk a little bit about self-awareness. Now I believe that self-awareness is extremely important, especially when you want to improve yourself. So I talk to many people who tell me, look Jimmy, I want to improve my confidence, I want to build my self-esteem, I want to become more productive, and they want to improve all of those different areas of their lives, but what I realize very often is that they are not self-aware. They don't even know where they are right now in this present moment. So I feel like it's important to gain fresh perspective, right? To zoom out of your life and then just look at yourself and objectively ask yourself, where am I now? What's the current situation? Because only when you have that knowledge, it's easier for you to figure out the action steps. So in a second, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Actually, I prepared 10 really important questions. And I believe that when you start answering them for yourself, when you really ponder about those questions, you will get a lot of clarity about who you are as a person and your self-awareness will grow. Rick, can you pass me my laptop for a moment? Awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So by the way, those questions, I'm going to read them out. Feel free to jot them down. And then what I would say is trust your gut feeling, right? So when you're reading the question, instead of having this temptation to create a perfect answer, simply listen to your intuition and jot down whatever comes to your mind. And look, the reason I'm saying this is because many people, they look at those questions thinking, wow, that's a big question. I need some time to really ponder about it. And then they keep waiting and they are waiting for some spark of inspiration. The way I see it, instead of waiting for the inspiration, you gotta trigger the inspiration, right? So often what happens is people procrastinate and they end up, not doing anything. So we both know that someday and one day never come. So instead of waiting for the perfect moment, I'd say just take 10 minutes and just start writing down the answers to those questions. All right, so the first question, if the doctors told me that I have only 6 months to live, how would I change the way I live my life? Now, this is a really important question because very often we assume that we will live forever. And even though intellectually we know that we won't live forever, it's easy to make that assumption on a day-to-day basis. You wake up in the morning and you usually don't think, well, today could be the day. Today could be the day I'm gonna die. We don't think about it, but I feel like sometimes it's important to remind yourself that you are essentially dying already, 1 minute at a time, right? Your life is getting shorter and shorter. You can't predict what's gonna happen, so you should live your life to the fullest. When you ask yourself this question, some interesting answers may come up that make you realize that, wait a second, maybe I'm not living the life I should be living. Perhaps I have to change a few things about my life to be truly happy. The second question, what exciting challenge would I love to pursue if there was no risk of failure or embarrassment? Now again, this gives you a lot of clarity because very often we have some big dreams deep inside, right? We want to accomplish something massive, whether it's climbing some type of mountain or maybe you always wanted to travel across Africa or South America, but for some reason you would always postpone it, right? You would always, have this inner voice telling you, you know what? Yeah, it's risky and don't worry, there is enough time. You can do it sometime in the future. But once again, we both know that very often someday and one day never come. So when you answer this question, you may realize that, wait a second, there are certain dreams that I have and unless I do something about them right now, I may never accomplish them. Third question, what is my definition of success? Now, this is super important because in this society, unfortunately, we very often link success to financial success, right? So if you make a lot of money, if you set up a business that makes a killing, then you feel like you are successful. But there are many other areas of life, whether it's relationships, whether it's health, this self-fulfillment that comes from you pursuing your passions. There's so many other elements in this life. So you got to define your own definition of success. I mean, there's no point of listening to other people. Instead, you have to define what it is for you because this way it's easier for you to design the life that will bring you a lot of success according to your definition. All right, question number 4. What frustrates me about myself? Now, this one is tricky. Nobody really wants to work with this question. It's tough, right? I mean, it's tough to sit down and truthfully ask yourself, what is frustrating me about myself? Because then you make an assumption that you're not perfect, right? And it's very hard to acknowledge your weaknesses, but it's super important if you want to be truly self-aware. All right, another question. What is currently worrying me? Can I do anything about it? And if yes, what is preventing me from taking action? Now, this is super important because there are many things in life that worry us, and when you worry too much, it's really not good for your health, both physical and mental. And often we just keep going with the flow and we assume, well, this is the way the life is supposed to be. But very rarely we take the time to sit down and just ponder and analyze what is really worrying me and can I do anything about it? And very often when you take the time to think about it, you may come up with some solutions. I'm talking about clear, actionable solutions where you can do something to change that state of affairs. All right? Very important question. Okay, the sixth one. What activities do I engage in to escape reality? All right? So we all get stressed from time to time. We all have those moments when you wake up in the morning and you just don't feel like leaving the bed, right? You feel terrible. And when reality is too hard to manage, to handle, right? Maybe your business not working well. Maybe your boss is being an asshole to you, right? Maybe you have some really bad situation in your relationships. Whatever it is, it's very easy to try to escape that reality and engage in counterproductive and sometimes destructive behavior, right? Whether it's, I don't know, chain smoking or drinking too much or gambling or whatever it is. So I feel like it's important to just truthfully ask yourself, okay, when those situations happen, when I lose control, when I want to escape reality, what vices do I engage in, right? And nobody is perfect, so I feel like it's totally fine to go through this question and just be honest with yourself. All right, the next question. What were the biggest turning points in my life? So very often as humans, we walk through the world, we kind of, look around and we overestimate other people and underestimate ourselves. And you gotta ask yourself, when was the last time when you really looked at your life thinking, it was a crazy journey. I've done many things that seemed impossible back in the day. And very rarely we take the time to ponder about those things, those turning points, those breakthroughs we had in our lives. But I feel like it's really important, especially for your confidence and self-esteem. Because when you take some time to think about all of those amazing things you've done, right, all those turning points, it makes you realize that, wait a second, I am more powerful than I thought. I have more control than sometimes I believe I have, right? Super important. And by the way, before I forget, if you want to learn more about building confidence, building self-esteem, creating a strong identity, click on the link below this video. I have a free course for you. You're gonna love it, all right? Cool. Next question. What are some of the things on my to-do list I never get to because of some type of fear or limiting belief, right? And why is that? And I encourage you to go deeper. And very often what happens is we have our to-do list, right? We have a bunch of items. And then when you really analyze your to-do list, you may realize that some of the things have been lingering there for months, if not for years. I mean, no kidding. Sometimes, some people have certain things on their to-do lists that have been there for years and years and years. And instead of just accepting that this is the way it is, I feel like it's super important to look at it and realize, wait a second, this one thing has been here for way too long. Why is that? Maybe it's not that important, in which case I should just get rid of it. But maybe it's really stressing me out. Why is it stressing me out? Why am I so afraid to do that one thing? And then you go deeper and deeper and deeper, right? And you get to know yourself. And thanks to that clarity, it's easier for you to figure out how to summon that courage and confidence to push through that and actually get it done, right? Super important. Now, another question that's really crucial. Do I always say what is really on my mind? And if the answer is no, why not? Why not? Why do you have situations when you think certain things, but you are afraid to verbalize them, right? You're with a group of friends and you feel like you want to say something, but then you hold back. You decide not to do it. Why is that? What is holding you back? Is it some type of fear? Maybe fear of embarrassment, fear of failure, fear of, not being like everyone else, the fear of being different, being alienated, whatever it is, just think about it. Think about those situations you had and just go deep and analyze yourself and, in the context of those situations. And I can guarantee you that, when you get that awareness of what's happening and why it's happening, then you will have more control when those situations happen in the future. And the last question, how often do I help others and how often do I ask for help from other people? Now, this is something I can relate to quite a lot, right? Because I have this problem, and I still have it. I've been working on it for many years, but to be totally vulnerable with you, I still have this issue where I just find it difficult to ask for help. And very often in the past, people would walk up to me and tell me, hey, how can I help you? And my first response, don't worry about it. I can do it. It's okay. I can do it myself. But at the same time, I would always try to help other people. Hey, how can I help you? Hey, I have to connect you with my other friend. He has this business and maybe you can do something together. I would always try to find those different ways I can help others, but I found it difficult to accept help from other people. And then over the years, I realized that if I don't accept help from other people, I essentially deprive them of the opportunity to help me, right? So it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. In many cases, it's a bad thing. And because I've been, asking myself this question, going deeper and sitting by myself in a room for hours at a time, just pondering about it and journaling about this particular topic, I realized that I have to manage it in a bit different way. So nowadays, when somebody comes up to me and they say, listen, I want to help you. I think I can help you with this area of your life. Instead of having that gut response of, don't worry, I don't need your help, I'm going to pause. I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to say, you know what? Why not? I appreciate it. Yeah, let's talk about it. I would really appreciate your help. And I try to push myself to accept that help from other people. Now, your situation may be different, right? Maybe your problem is the opposite. Maybe you're not that much focused on contribution and maybe you're getting a lot of help from other people. And perhaps answering this question make you realize, wait a second, I'm not contributing as much as I want to. Why is that? Maybe deep inside I don't feel like I'm good enough to contribute to other people. This could be one of the answers. So anyway, many things we could talk about. I could literally make this video into 1 hour. But as I said, if you want to find out more, click on the link. There's a free course where we talk for 1.5, 2 hours about all of those topics related to confidence, building self-esteem, creating this powerful identity, destroying limiting beliefs, etc. So there's no risk. The course is for free. Let me know what you think. Post comments underneath this video. I hope that you really enjoyed it. And by the way, take action. Don't just listen to this video, okay? Please take a piece of paper, answer those questions for yourselves, and you will see that you will gain so much more self-awareness. All right, guys? Have a great day, and I'm gonna see you soon.